Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In this video, I would like to continue talking about my current project of coding a fantasy-themed football simulation. More specifically, I'd like to talk about some of the special skills that the player's team will be able to learn in the course of the game and will also be available to computer-controlled teams. The way that skills work is that every so often a wandering sage will turn up and offer to teach a particular skill. And then the player can make a bid on behalf of their team, and the computer-controlled teams will do the same, and whoever bids the highest gets to learn the skill and pays the amount that they offered. This also means that they won't get their other action for the week. So the team that's learning the new skill won't be able to try and recruit new players, for example, or upgrade their ground or whatever other options there are. The fictional sort of inspiration for this was probably, I guess, martial arts movies in which there are these sort of wizened old masters who have these secret techniques that they'll teach to sort of particular students. Although in the fiction of what I've seen of those films, the students have to come to the masters rather than the masters coming to the students, and the masters sort of teach based on worthiness rather than being bribed. But for game purposes, it makes more sense to have it be a bribe. What I'd like to do with the rest of the video is go through some of the ideas I've had for special skills. I probably won't get through all of them because I'm trying to make these videos shorter, because some people have said that they find the long videos a bit overwhelming and too much information. And of course, once I program these skills, I'll probably find that some of them are too powerful, some of them are no good. I have to rebalance them. But of course, you have to sort of have an initial idea in order to program them, in order to find that out. As it says here, some skills might require a roll to work, other skills might work automatically. That's part of the balancing process to find out, what the best way to do that. So, for example, it might be that you have to roll a d20, or as in simulate rolling a d20 in the program, and if the number is equal to or lower than the quarterback's intelligence, then the skill activates, for example. So let's go through. As you can see, I've categorized them by when they happen. I've already talked about the bribery skill in a previous video. Basically, it can save money when you're bribing another team to throw a game. You can end up paying only the minimum they would have accepted rather than the amount you offered if you have the bribery skill and they don't. Here's one that activates on the kickoff called onside kick. The way that kickoffs work by default is that one team kicks the ball down the field, the other team gets it, and then they try and bring it up the field. An onside kick is kicking the ball a very small distance, but still sort of long enough to be a legal kickoff. And then if you kick the ball a short distance, of course, your team might be able to get to it before the other team does, and therefore you are the attacker rather than the defender. The downside of that is that if it fails, you've kicked the ball a short distance, meaning that the other team is further up the field and the other team still has it. So it can sort of be the worst of both worlds if you if the onside kick doesn't work. Moving on to offense, which is probably the biggest category. I'll go through a few of these. A fake punt, which is where you make out on the fourth down, your last chance to try and get 10 yards. You make out that you're going to kick for distance, and then hopefully that puts some of the enemy out of position or the opposition out of position, and therefore you get to gain some yards. This blue asterisk means that it's a trick play, and what that means is that if you do it for the second time in a game, it's going to be less likely to be successful, and then the third time it'll be even less likely, fourth time even less likely, because the opposition is sort of wise to what you're doing. You probably noticed that a lot of these don't seem like things you'd need a sage to teach you. They seem like things that anyone would know who's familiar with the game of football. Well, yes, that's true. Of course, these teams realistically probably would know this stuff. But I just thought it's more fun to start with a really basic team that sort of almost can't do anything and just about run and sort of kick off and pass the ball, and then everything else you have to learn as a special skill as you go. So it's not a very realistic option, but it's just sort of more fun for game, or hopefully will be more fun for gaming purposes. The leveling up process, getting a more powerful, character is a big part of what makes these games fun, and so I want to sort of start as lame as possible. I might leave it there because, as I say, I'm trying to keep the videos shorter. Next video we'll go through the other ones that I didn't get a chance to. As you can see, there's quite a few there. But I will leave it there for now. I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.